Good evening. My name is Johnny, and I'm excited to be able to share my testimony with you guys tonight. Growing up, my parents were what I would call, or we'd call, CEO Christians, Christmas and Easter only. So we only went to church twice a year, and it's when everyone else and their mom went to church, basically. My mom was actually raised in the Catholic Church, and she kind of grew away from that when she got to high school and college. But my grandma was always rooted in her faith. And my grandparents, both my mom and my dad, kind of cool story, they grew up on the same street in San Diego. And so when we visit our grandparents, we just walk across the street, made it really convenient. My mom's mom was Catholic and very religious and rooted in her faith. And so we go, when we visit her, try to go to church services. And I was actually baptized in the Catholic Church when I was born. It came a point where my mom was pregnant with my youngest sister, who now is 11. So this was early 2001. My grandma was diagnosed with cancer, and it was just a tough time. My mom being pregnant was just hoping that her mom could see her last child be born, and ended up being that none of my aunts or uncles, no one else has kids, so this is her only, would have been her last grandchild. And so she was diagnosed with skin cancer, and we know how much time she had left. Doctors gave her a few months, but we weren't sure. So I just remember not necessarily praying. I didn't really know what prayer was. I kind of knew of God, but I didn't know exactly who He was. And I just one night just kind of talked and said, God, if it's in Your will, please let Grandma be okay, so she can see my sister be born. And as time went on, the cancer subsided. It didn't grow as large as the doctors expected, which is a major blessing. And she was actually able to see the birth of my youngest sister, Allie. And my grandma was actually Irish, and so she had really red hair. That's kind of cool because my mom, who's 50% Chinese, all of our family members don't look anything alike. My sister actually has bright red hair, and unexplainable. All we can think is a gift from God that my grandma was able to see her be born, and she's just a splitting image of her. And so whenever we see my sister and her red hair, we just think of Grandma and just thank God for that. So. As time would go on, is actually New Year's Eve. Grandma was in the hospital for a second unrelated thing, and she was in ICU, and it wasn't looking too good. I just remember all my aunts and uncles, my mom in the hospital, and I actually wasn't allowed to go in the ICU unit because I was underage, and how intense it was in there. And so we went home just shortly before New Year's Eve, and my mom just kind of sat us down, and it hurt to see a family member in pain, and my mom just broke into tears and said that Grandma had passed away, and that kind of for me was just rock bottom. And that night kind of went back to what I did prior, and praying or just closing my eyes, talking. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I just felt comforted knowing that I was just praying, and I wanted to know what I was doing, what this prayer was. And so I'm thankful that some friends in high school invited me to our youth. Just got rooted in that. I love the worship, I love the messages, and I just love knowing what prayer was and the power of it. And I just thank my grandma for her faith and knowing that God is real, God does exist. And so if I can encourage you guys tonight with this, I would say that just be rooted and build your house on a strong foundation. Start early and just trust in Him. And every storm, you're just going to get stronger, if your house is on the rock, and God's going to keep you upright. He doesn't promise an easy life. He doesn't promise there to be, never sadness, but He promises that He'll love you and He'll take you through the tough times. So trust in Him, and know that there's a greater purpose, and He'll never put you in a situation that you can't handle. But we also need to know that without Him, we can't survive, and that we need to just put our hope and faith in everything that we have in our Lord Jesus Christ.